crop circles are weird. So weird.
Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy, 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 crazy. Oh man. So just the FYI, learn how to do the lives. That was crazy. Let's see. What's going on, everybody? Man, man, man. I need to get some of these boxes off my dang live, man. I got boxes everywhere. I'm gonna go through the chat in a little bit. What's going on, everybody, man? I need to check with you guys, man, and make sure that the screen, I mean that the mic is not rattling. You know how sometimes it'll be rattling when I get on here? So I just need to make sure. I need to put this up a little bit more. I need to make sure it's not rattling, right? So let me know what the sound is sounding like right now, y'all, just in case. While I'm doing that, well, actually, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what the sound like first, and then we're gonna do it. I just changed the time to 11:05. Yeah. So no, that was something else was going on. Sounds good? Okay, good deal, Joel. Good deal, good deal. What's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody, man? It took me a little while to get in here because I was trying to get a couple of things taken care of before I got started here. Some stuff was ending up pressing that wasn't supposed to be pressing. There we go. I think I'll turn it back on. I think I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Just a little, just a tad. I don't want it too bright. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of pale in my arms right now, man. I need to get more sun. You know, shit, I need to get more sun. I need to hit the weights more. I need to do a few things. But I'm gonna catch up with the chat right quick, and then I'm gonna jump into a whole bunch of other stuff, man. Namely, what a lot of people that are coming here for, which is to, you know what I need to do too. Hold on. To make the sound even better. No, I'm not gonna mess with it. Let's see. I was gonna go to the noise suppression on here, but anyway, let's see what we got here. Joel, send the day. Gritty, Arancia, Ambrata just received late in my Performo de Aprenza Maragavilia. Bro, I don't even know how to say it. It's the most realistic orange note I've ever smelled. Now, I love a good orange. So if it's a realistic orange note, then I'm down for it, man. Need to get my nose on it. Racket Club says, "Sup, Gator and Joe's Matrix. What's going on? What's going on, Racket Club? Salute to you, my man. Kicks Griefy. What's going on, Kicks? What's happening? Send of the day, arm off or refresh. I saw a refresh not too long ago. And I thought about putting it on as a plus one to kind of get my card up to like free shipping. But I passed on it. I got something else. I may need to jump back into that one. I heard it's pretty good. Let's see. Racket Club says, "Send of the day, Bahara King." Bahara King is actually pretty good. All right, let's see. Ricky Garrett, what's going on, man? Send of the day, fragrance world Celestia Blue, a interesting fragrance. That stuff is really, really fresh. Like I talk to people about fresh fragrances, and that one is one of the freshest. It's an inspiration or inspired by Office for Men. And it is a very good inspiration of that fragrance, man. Very, very good. On its own though, as a fragrance, it's nice, man. I love it. All right, let's see. Gator, you're having some technical issues or just late? Yeah, I'm just late. I had some other stuff going on. I see that y'all was going on. Kicks, maybe he thinks he's talking to us, but he's not. No. All right, let me get to everything here. All right. Let's see. Racket Club said, I was asking how Ricky likes that Celestia Blue. All right. Since IRL, what's going on, man? Say what up, though. Said it today, Aqua Dubai. Aqua Dubai, can't go wrong with Aqua Dubai, man. It is a fresh fragrance that is, in the vein of that imagination DNA. But to be honest, I don't even consider it like an imagination clone for real. Like, to me, it just has a little bit of the inspiration from imagination off the top. But as you go like past that first like 30 minutes, it kind of becomes its own fragrance. And I like what it does, man. It's got that petitgrain note that gives it a little bit more of a masculine fresh than you do in Imagination. Imagination is a deeper fragrance, but I feel like Aqua Dubai is a little bit fresher and a little bit more on the masculine side. It's actually, I get more compliments on that than I do off of Imagination. So, I mean, just saying. Let's see. Joe said, I need more sun. You might as well call me Casper the Ghost. Man, look, I'm not too far from you. Look at this. Look at it. Well, some of this is the light. Because I got the light sitting right here, man, hitting me, you know. Let's see. Ricky Garrett says, I just put it into maturation. It was very light. Oh, okay. Let's see. Since IRL's gone in, okay, I'm just going through all the stuff here. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to do before I did anything else, before I take a drip, well, actually, first thing I'm gonna do, take a sip of this. Sin of the day today, and actually, I was supposed to have the review done on this one already, and I have not. It was kind of like a default sin of the day, just because I was trying to do a compare and contrast with this and with the original Angel Share Paradise. But sin of the day, again, today is Royal Blend Sequoia. So this is actually a really good interpretation of that Paradise DNA. There are some things that I feel are drawbacks on this fragrance, though, and I'm going to get into that in my review, which I'll probably get that review posted up this week. I'm also going to be doing a tag video, man. My guy, man, Walt over there, Fat Boy Finesse, man, he tagged me in a video, and he went intricate with it, man. Had the third string, second string, first string, basically your hitters, your starting lineup, man, your team. I started to put a little spin on it and do it for football season, get my top 11, my starters. But I think I might just go ahead and fall back into the top 5. We're gonna see how that goes. I might play around with the concept a little bit. Let's see. Mixed, what's going on? What's happening? She says, hey, Gator. Hey, Mixed, what's going on? How are you doing this evening? All right. Let me see. Kid Panda in the building. Say, yo. All my wrestling fans know where that comes from, man. All right. Let's see. What time is it? Is in the building? Said, how's the new Chanel? You know what? That's a good question. I don't know, but we're about to find out, because guess what I got today is a little bit of scent mail. Bing, 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 bing. This is the new Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif. Now, here's my thing with the L'Exclusif, and I do it a little bit different than other people do in this scenario, man. I like, for certain fragrances, I kind of like to spend time with the fragrance before I get like a real good judging on it, and before I decide to invest in stuff. So most of the time with fragrances like that, what I'll do is I'll cop a decant of that fragrance. So that's exactly what's happening right here. So instead of just kind of doing the one spray and just kind of spraying it on to kind of see what it's like, and making my full judging on that. So this is for my guys down there at Scent Rush, man. Scent Rush, great people down there, man. Down in, hey, fellow Louisiana boys, holler at Scent Rush if you don't have a chance. If you never had a chance to, man, holler at Scent Rush. One of the things that I was interesting about this order was that they enclosed some Haribo Gold Bears in here, man. Some wild berry gold bears. Now, the heat in Louisiana is stupid. The heat here in Atlanta is stupid. So there was a little bit of a run over in here. They kind of melted a good little bit, man. Interesting. This is interesting. This is very interesting. But yeah. Okay. We getting snacks as well as scents here. Let's see. Kid Panda says, Big Bro, rank these houses in terms of performance and longevity, because research shows Me, it's all poor. Joe Milano, Molten Brown, Tin Halligan's, Aqua de Parma. Oh man, you know what? I'm not even gonna rank those, and here's why I'm not gonna rank them. I can tell you off top that it really does depend on the fragrance that you get. You can say what you want about Joe Malone fragrances, and a lot of people kind of poo-poo all over Cypress and Grapevine, over Wood Sage and Sea Salt. They poo-poo on those fragrances about longevity. The thing with that though is you look at a fragrance like Myrrh and Tonka from Joe Malone, and it stays on skin forever, and it is a deep, rich, resonance type of vibe here. Aqua de Parma, I can hear people talk about Aqua de Parma scents all the time, and how, oh, they're this and they're that. But man, I love the Fico de Malfi. It lasts actually on my skin like 7 to 8 hours. The Mandarino de Sicilia on my skin actually pulls about around 7 to 8 hours. So I can't even really rank those as far as like, and I don't know what the market statistic is. A lot of molten browns, I haven't had a whole lot of experience just wearing molten browns, right? Um, so I can't really speak a lot to that. But Penhaligons, I've never heard Penhaligons having super weak performance. I think there's only like one or two that I've heard of that had slightly weak performance, but a lot of their stuff is kind of rich fragrances anyway, so I don't see any issues with those. Bark Bulletin, what's going on, man? Thoughts on Ingenious Ginger? I think Ingenious Ginger is a great fragrance. That one, when we're talking about longevity, for some reason, I get somewhere around like 5 or 6 hours for Ingenious Ginger. But that's a great fragrance. I think Sunset Hour from Goldfield and Blanks is a little bit of a better fragrance, but Ingenious Ginger, man, you can't go wrong getting that one, especially if you're a ginger fan. That's a great good fragrance to go with. Let's see. Joel, are you talking to Kid Panda on that one? Let's see. Ricky Garrett said, "Who has a relationship with Roger Dove? Isola Blue." So Isola Blue, check with Joel on that one. I love Isola Blue. I think it's a nice fragrance, man. The issue that I have with Isola Blue is the price point. Price point is outrageous for Isola Blue. So that being said, I think it's a great fragrance to have. I think every gentleman should at least have a decant. Like I got a decant of Isola Blue over there somewhere. I think it's a great fragrance to have. Let's see. Beauty of Sin. Hey, Gator, we here, man. Yo, you say, here, talk to me about Mancera, Wahoo Lemon Mint. That shit too synthetic. That's the beauty of Wahoo Lemon Mint, man, is that it is synthetic. Wahoo Lemon Mint has this weird synthetic style of mint that comes across as super fresh. It does come across as synthetic. It doesn't come across as realistic, but in the air, it's just an uber pleasant scent, and people gravitate to that scent for some reason. They like that mint that's in the air with that one. It's not like a uber leafy mint or something like that. It's like a chewing gum style of mint. People like it though, and I think that actually adds to the character of that fragrance. It's a creative thing, man. By the way, guys, if you're in here, make sure you hit the like button, man. Hit that like button. Don't cost you anything. At least I don't think it costs you anything. If it's charging you to hit the like button, let me know, man, and I'll talk to my folks at YouTube and tell them, cut that shit out. All right, let's see. Kid Panda, last question. Sales rep at LV tried to finesse me by saying, "Why do you need a fragrance to last 8+ hours and more? What do you like? Is there a rule to expect longevity for certain price points?" No, not at all. And if my guy Justin Copeland was on here, he would say that the people, at LV are completely right in justifying what they're saying. Your longevity. So fragrance is subjective, completely subjective. And what that means basically is that I can have a fragrance that is a $600 fragrance that lasts, 4 or 5 hours. If I wanted to, charge $600 for it, I can, and that's not a problem. That's my art. That's what I want to charge for it. And it all comes down to whether or not you as the consumer find value in that. There are certain fragrances. I mentioned this Solar Blue a little while ago, and I said the price point is ridiculous. The longevity for me is pretty solid though. I think, as a fragrance itself, it smells so good that it's like, okay, I could see it earning that particular price point. There's other fragrances out there that I smell and I'm like, based on what this smells like, I'm not really seeing why I would pay the money for it. LV fragrances, I'm notoriously picky on them, man, for that. Speaking of this fragrance that we're talking about tonight, this one right here has that same MO starting to kind of pop around in the community right now. This is Bleu de Chanel L'Exclusif. Now, everybody in the community right now knows what we're looking at as far as price point on this thing. We're looking at somewhere in the range of about 275. I've been hearing for 50s, it's like oops, my bad. For 50s, it's like 210, something like that. For 50 mils. Let me tell you something. My whole thing with that though is Bleu de Chanel is a top tier designer. Chanel's a top tier designer. I've been hearing a lot of stuff out there online about their, this particular fragrance and what it ranks as, and that's why there's two reasons I got the 5 mil. One was so I could actually spend some time with it and see what it's like, on a full wear, not just a, spray on and things like that. I want to see what it's like on a full wear, how it reacts, throughout the day and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll kind of value it based on that. Which means that this first spray, it'll be a good impression. By the way, clean skin, literally just jumped out the shower, which was part of the reason why it took me a little while. Let's see, give me a little bit of spray on here and see what this thing does. And I'm a Bleu. Oh, and let me preface this by saying I'm a Bleu de Chanel fan. I love Bleu de Chanel, the parfum, and is my favorite. Let's see. They're talking about Aoud Limit. Let's see. Ricky said, I saw Falcone Rosola autograph and started to pull the trigger on it today. I need to see what that's like because I heard Joe talking about it. He says it's good. I may end up bringing it in just for that. So it's already popping up to me. But let's see. Beauty of Scent, no, I got other stuff. I'm just reading through. Also, as a Westerner, have you had the opportunity to smell actual ouds from the Middle East as compared to Westernized takes of oud? Yeah, of course. I say of course, but not everybody has done that. And you said you'll get back to me regarding Patchouli 24 Le Labo. Yeah, because I have not smelled Patchouli 24 in a minute, and I do not have that sample here. In the house. So it's been a minute. I got to find somewhere that has it and put my nose on it and let you know what it's about. As far as the oud question here, there are places in the United States where you can actually go and smell real oud. There are a lot of niche perfume shops. We have a couple here in Atlanta, one in particular, Indie House, where you can actually smell authentic oud, in their on their premises, and you know what it is. And you can also smell authentic oud perfumery. A lot of times the best place to go for stuff like that is to those niche houses, those places, those shops that sell nothing but niche fragrance. But yeah, to me, I like natural ouds. I like the animalic nature of it. I'm a fan of that. There is a little bit of a almost fecal funk to certain ones. I mean, but you got to think of what oud actually is. Oud is literally, kind of the residue of a virus. So you're gonna get that. I do like the way that people do those westernized ouds, but there's nothing wrong with like an actual oud as well. I think it all boils down to what fragrance is being used and who's the perfumer that's actually using it. Really, at the end of the day. Let's see. Alexandria Fragrances has a good version of Isola Blue. It's called Isola da Santorini. Oh, that might be my move right there. Let's see. He said, Ricky, get it. You won't be disappointed. Yeah. Mick says Bleu de Chanel is fire. I love it. Look, I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit of this coming up. David Webster, what's going on, man? What's happening? So, as you see, I kind of gave it a little while to kind of sit before I even put my nose to this. Um, So one of the things that I love about this is that unmistakably you pick up that Blue de Chanel DNA. And when people say, l'exclusive, elixirs, things like that, you kind of want to have the original DNA that you fell in love with just some augmentation, a little depth, a little, that's kind of what we're getting here with this one. I get that unmistakable leather, like, and it could be a labdanum. But it is definitely giving me a rich leathery style of depth, but at the same time you're getting that original Blue de Chanel DNA here. um like you're getting you're getting the mint. I'm picking up like a minty vibe coming out of it, and it's not quite an animalic leather, but it really adds a depth to that DNA, man. Like, I heard somebody mention that Blue de Chanel, like EDP and, the EDT and the Parfum were kind of the workers, and that L'Exclusive was the boss. Yeah. Yeah, like this has this animalicness to it. Well, let me take back. Not really an animalicness, but this leatheriness to it that it really kind of deepens this vibe, man. Now, here's my problem here, that my hope is that we maintain the Blue de Chanel DNA, the top, the mids throughout. Because what I don't want to have happen is have this end up as like this labdanum heavy, like leathery vibe off skin, and kind of lose the actual Blue de Chanel DNA going into like that first, second, hour of the dry now, which is what I was most afraid of, which is another reason that I got this, because I want to be able, y'all know how I do reviews, man. I like to give every aspect, every facet of a fragrance that I'm reviewing, all the way through the second hour. What is it doing at the second hour? What is it doing going into the third or fourth hour? You know how I like to do things, man. So that's part of the reason that I got it like this, because I wanted to be able to experience this whole thing, how it works on a full wearing, all the way down into that fourth, fifth, sixth hour. They're talking about this thing being a 24-hour fragrance. Um, from what I'm picking up right now, like if it's gonna be a 24-hour fragrance, it's gonna be one of those fragrances that's gonna be super soft at hour like 18, 19, to where you can pick it up off skin. Now, I am moisturized. I got all that stuff going. I'm also in a bubble right now because I just sprayed it, so it's in the air. So I may not get all of the facets of it, unless I'm out and about. So I'm gonna see what it's like. Let's see what it's like. Kid Patton said, I've been watching Aaron Terrence use the perfumer get a full breakdown of frags, but now knowing what raw oud smells, have you been put off by other oud inspired frags like synthetic oud versus real oud? No, not really. Not at all. I mean, it all really kind of depends. See, the thing with Aaron Terrence Hughes, and I love watching his stuff, the thing with him is that he's going to talk about it from the nose of a perfumer. There's been fragrances that have been like mass market hits, right? That he's refused and said, it's all right. It's not to my liking, but it's cool. It's all right. I mean, this is just horribly blended right here. And he'll break that thing down from the mind of a perfumer, and it's specifically a perfumer that has his own biases, right? But those are billion dollar fragrances that he'll dissect, and they're making that money for a reason. It's because they smell good to the common person. There's certain fragrances that I can have in here. Like, for example, I could talk about Virtus Vanilla Oud. I love Virtus Vanilla Oud. I think it's a great fragrance, man. Oh, you know what? Better example of this: Seraphine Musk. Seraphine Musk, I think, is a great fragrance, right? My wife says it smells like Band-Aids, right? It's not a mass appealing scent. However, there was other people when I went out that said the same thing. I don't know about that one. I had one young lady that was like, "You sound like somebody that I need to take orders from. You sound this. That's what a man is supposed to smell like." Again, going back to the fact that fragrance is subjective. There's a lot of people who don't like Virtus Vanilla Oud and think that it's a bunch of trash, right? But it's got a more realistic vibe of oud in that fragrance. So you'll think that it's, you know, to me, it's all about how that fragrance performs and how it's blended. And in all honesty, as much as I love watching, people like an Terrace use and everything, because I do embrace that side as well. I can't deny mass appeal and mass appeal effect. And hey, doesn't make me like not like certain oods, you know. And you have to be careful as well not to go too far down the rabbit hole. And what I mean by that is sometimes we can get so much into our heads about certain fragrances that we just forget that, for ourselves, we just want to smell good, you know. And there are fragrances out there that may not be the most complex, but they just smell good. They just work. They just work, you know. Let's see. Kid Patterson, I also think our perceptions get impacted. Take Creed versus Homage. Price is roughly the same, but performance can almost never be compared bottle for bottle. Not necessarily, no. Not necessarily. And there's a lot to that with Creed reformulations and things like that and all that. Mick says, please don't tell me it has labdanum. That note is tough for me, but the fragrance will last a long time with it, but I don't like the smell of that note. Let me take a look. Because I'm saying labdanum, but that's just like a nose identification right now. That's just a nose identification. So it may not be labdanum. Let's take a look and see. Beep, beep, beep. Now, joining the party, Fragrantica. So let's see. All I got to do is type in l'exclusif. All right. So the notes in this guy is okay. So the notes that are listed for Bleu de Chanel, l'exclusif, are woody notes, amber, labdanum, and sandalwood. You definitely pick up the sandalwood. Oh, there we go. Had to make sure I shaded this thing back again. All right, so you definitely pick up the sandalwood. You definitely pick up some of the woody notes. You do pick up a little bit more of an ambery nature in this one than I can remember in some of the other ones. But you're picking up that labdanum in here. You're definitely picking it up. I don't know though. I don't know though, Mix. You want to put your nose on it because I have a feeling this one might be one of those notes. This one might be one of those labdanums that you kind of back away from because it does have that classic like leathery inspiration. Now, I said I was picking up a mint and everything. They're not listing all the notes. I can tell you right now, Fragrantica's not listing all the notes because it opens up like a Bleu de Chanel. It opens up with that same slightly citric, minty vibe. So they're not listing everything in here. They're definitely not. Let's see. Kid Pan said also, bro, for streaming entertainment purposes versus in music, what two houses would you say can go bottle for bottle and be legendary battle from discontinued lines to current catalog? What? I mean, that's an interesting question. Um, I'd have to think about that. I definitely have to think about that. Let's see. But that might be something I do a video on actually. Mo, welcome to Mo's. What's going on? Let's see. Ricky Garrett said, anyone try Nazar's impression of Moonlight in Heaven? Nazar, you know what? I think I have smelled that, actually. I just can't remember it. Let's see. Since I earlier said I tried exclusive yesterday in this BDC, but dry down was similar to Savage Elixir. Ah. Without the spiciness. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Savage Elixir is a little bit spicier in the dry down. This one doesn't quite have that same spiciness, but I can see that comparison. Let's see. Oh, he said that's what I got out of it. It's good, but I don't know if it's $275 good. Rather spend another $50 in cop and LV. Hey, no. Here's the thing. I wouldn't spend another $50 in cop and LV because the LV ain't worth it. The LV ain't worth it. So this goes to the point that we were talking about earlier, as far as like your price points go, right? Smelling this right now, I'm like, man, Blue de Chanel is out there rabbit ass mine, right? Because it's great. Like I've heard people say it's a nice fragrance. It's great. And again, let me preface this by saying I am a Blue de Chanel guy. It's great. Now, when people were talking about a Blue de Chanel Absolute or doing the next version of a Blue de Chanel, one of the things that I was hoping that they were going to do was either add a leather or add some sort of boozy vibe to it. I would have loved to have got like a cognac Blue de Chanel, right? But hey, that's me, right? But leather was one of those things that I mentioned that I would not have mind having. This has the leather, so I'm a little bit partial to that. That being said, I dig this a lot, and it definitely has more than what they're talking about in that no breakdown, because you do pick up that classic Blue de Chanel vibe in here. It's in there. Those notes are here. They are here. They're definitely here. But you and Chantel, you gonna put your nose on this one. Go in the store and put your nose on this one. I have a feeling you are not gonna like that labdanum. The way that it pops in on there, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. It's not gonna be something that you want to wear, because it feels like this labdanum is here to stay. Like, it doesn't feel like it's like a mid note that's just kind of meandering a little bit and then it's gonna eventually kind of drift off. That's not what this feels like. When they're talking about 24 hours worth of longevity here, I guarantee you, if it actually does last for 24 hours, that this labdanum is gonna be on there for 15 of it. Because it's such an intricate part of it's such an intricate part of this formulation in here. Let me see here. Beauty of Scent. What's going on? Is that my favorite BDC is the EDT? That shit real fresh. It is. It's super fresh, man. My favorite is the Parfum. I love the Parfum. I just wish the Parfum projected a little bit more. The EDP to me is kind of like the middle ground as far as that stuff goes. But the Parfum to me just it smells so good, man. It's such, for me, a stunner as far as fragrances go. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you're here, you're looking, man, hit the like button. See what it be. See what it be about. Joel said, question to all that tried most Blue de Chanel. Most people that don't like Blue de Chanel exclusive, which one is still the best Parfum or the EDP? I kind of somewhat answered that question just now, but Parfum. I'm still a Parfum guy. Now, here's the thing. I was not a parfum guy until I actually wore the parfum multiple times. And then I was like, man, you can't beat this. This is another reason why I got the 5 mil. The other reason I got the 5 mil was because I have a feeling that if I wear this a few times, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. I have a feeling if I wear this a few times, it may end up being one that I really, really like. I don't know if that's a good thing because it's $275, and the brother ain't really about to spend $275 on it right now. So here's the other caveat to that. I keep saying that, I just said it. Hey, blew the Chanel out of their rabbit ass mind. Ain't nobody gonna pay $275 for this. You know what? I say that now. Check with me in about a week. Check with me in about a week after I've taken this. I've worn it out. I've worn it into the office. I've, kind of worn it in the wild a little bit. And then I'll be able to tell you whether or not it's actually worth the 275 price point. I can tell you now, most of Louis Vuittons are not worth that price point, with the exception of L'Immensité, with the exception of Pacific Chill. None of the other ones. Symphony, that's a damn atrocity that thing is $600. That's an atrocity because there's such a simple DNA, such a simple DNA. But yeah, we'll see. Kid Patton says parfum for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Y'all kind of talking between said to haven't tried that one yet, but my favorite is EDP, but can concede the parfum smells the most quality and smooth, and that's one of the reasons I like it most because it's such a quality. It's smooth, man. It's such a smooth fragrance, and there's a depth in that one that I get from it that I don't get from the others. Although the other ones are a little bit louder, a little bit more attention grabbing, the parfum to me just has this depth to it that I'm really a fan of. Kid Panda says versus is like when two artists go against each other and perform their hit. No, I know what a versus is. And the crowd eventually decides who wins based on who has the most hits. I wonder between niche and designer, which four wins. Yeah, I mean, it's a deeper question. The reason I didn't answer that question is because I'd have to sit down and actually think about it. And because, going down a whole list of comments, I wouldn't have time to kind of break it down. But, it's an interesting video. That's why I was like, it may be something that I actually do on a video idea. I've done verses on my channel before. Matter of fact, I got a verses coming up with the Pacific Chill inspirations here that I've actually already recorded the video. So that's probably going to be dropping in the next probably week. I'm trying to pace them out right now because I got that one. I got the Emerald that I want to do. I got the tag video now from Walt that I think I'm going to go ahead and drop this week here. So, a lot of them coming. Let's see. David Webster says, Joel, I like the parfum the most, but a lot of people like the EDP because it's a little more versatile and projects a little more. Yeah, the EDP, and that's what I was saying. Excuse me. I like the parfum better too. I'm with you, David Webster. I'm a big fan of the parfum, but it's just that EDP does kind of is the middle ground. It kind of gives you both of those aspects of those facets of what you're looking for in a fragrance. That whole line's monster, though. I love the Blue Chanel line. As this sits on skin, I am definitely understanding why they're saying it's probably going to have some really nice longevity because as I'm sitting here kind of talking, it's popping, it's whiffing, it's I'm getting whiffs of it, and more whiffs here than here, which means that it's diffusive. Those top notes in here are very diffusive, and that labdanum is definitely giving it a richer vibe going like within that foot off of skin right now. Not 275. Not right now. And again, this is one of those things. Like I said, I'm gonna end up. Right now I'm like, man, Blue de Chanel on some bullshit, man. Playing 275 for this one, ain't no way. But I'm almost wondering. Like I said, I'm intrigued. The way that this is breaking down, the way that it's popping off the skin right now, the way that it's kind of welling up a little bit, I'm intrigued more about what my opinion of this thing is gonna be in the next few days. So Joel said, let me see, David Webster say, from what I hear, it's less citrus parfum and dries into Le Leon. I've heard the Le Leon comparison. It's too early in the dry now to tell. I could see where it could go in that direction, especially when we're talking about that labdanum being introduced in here and the way that thing kind of. But I gotta give it a little bit further in the dry now, and I had to take that deep breath right now because it's popping, it's moving, stuff is moving. So yeah, I try not to fanboy on Blue de Chanel. Let's see. Joel says Mo Leon is fire, so maybe exclusive is my jam. Now I'm even more confused, bro. It's Joel. You gotta get a DK out of this one. I got a feeling. Holla at Sid Rush. Holla at Joy, because I think this one is going to be one, and just from your fragrance recommendations, Joel, some of the things that you said about certain fragrances, this is going to be one that you are going to like a lot. You'll be tempted to pay that 275 for, but until you like, I mean, I got a feeling yeah, put your nose on it. Put your nose on it, because I got a feeling you're gonna really like it. Let's see. I saw the comment from Mix just now. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. I was about to say. He said EDP at Joel just for the chat. I'm a woman who wears and likes feminine leaning fragrances on myself. Love Blue de Chanel EDP for a man, and I might sneak a few sprays. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. I mean, there are certain fragrances that, as a guy, you want to smell on your woman. That you like, oh girl, you need to wear that. You need to put that on. You need to put that on. And I think for women, there are certain fragrances that a woman, a lot of times, and this is just in my dating experience, a lot of times there are certain fragrances that either a woman says, oh, I would love to make for my man to smell like that, or certain fragrances that, are like, that brings back scent memory. I don't want my man to smell like that. For example, Eros Flame. Eros Flame is a fragrance that a lot of people give love to. They say it's one of the best in the Eros line, right? And I've smelled it. I've worn it. I think it's good because it conjures up bad scent memories for my wife. That's not something I'm going to ever have in my fragrance collection, because not only is it something that she's like, I don't really like, it conjures up bad memories. So I'm just like, you know what? No, I don't need to do that. Don't want to wear that. That's I've found that it's usually either or on certain fragrances. Most said Gator wanted Blue de Chanel Le DUI. Yes. Yes. Blue de Chanel Le Cognac. Cognac. I would have actually liked that a lot, just to kind of see what that would have been. Because there's a lot of fragrance houses that take risks with booziness. Not a lot of designer houses take those boozy risks. Like designers will a lot of time go leather. They go leather a lot. Um, they don't even go oud like that. Um, but a lot of designer houses, with the exception of maybe you got your Gentleman Reserve Privé, which in my opinion is got a whiskey note, but it's not overly boozy. With the exception of something like that, a lot of designer houses don't take that chance with like a rich um like alcohol note, and I would just like to see that from one of the designer houses. And I was like, Chanel may be the one to do it. I would love to see what they do with that. Let's see. Smells good. What's going on? Smells good. Sin of the Day, King by Nazar. Sin of the Evening, Yom and Lel, Gladiator. I'm hearing a lot of pop on Gladiator right now. And Ricky, man, Smells Good might be the one to ask about that Nazar question you had. Man, I'm hearing a lot of pop about Gladiator. I'm wondering about Gladiator now. I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff coming in. By the way, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm actually I was watching Triple Mania, right? So it was going in the background, and all of a sudden it's like kind of going in and out. So if you see the lights around here blinking and all that kind of stuff, that's why. Anyway, let's see. Mick says, I can't. That note labdanum is strong and it definitely will last on skin for hours. I cannot stand that note in feminine leaning fragrances. And I'm starting to see this note more and more. You know why you're probably starting to see it more and more? Is because a lot of these fragrance houses are going for those fragrances that have a distinct longevity. And labdanum, like you were saying, it lasts on skin forever. And this is why we're starting to see a lot more of those vanilla, bourbonish vanilla kind of vibes on a lot of fragrances. The sandalwoods, which I'm a fan of sandalwood, so I'm down for that. A lot of these houses are making sure that they have some version of oak moss going on in there, and it's because they're just looking for longevity, and it's a quick way to add some longevity, but and also give a little bit of depth. You know, a little bit of labdanum is good because it kind of gives a little bit of a leathery nuance, just a little. But an overdose of labdanum gives like this really cloying floral vibe. And this one has just enough to give it more of a leathery vibe without being overly floral. There is a little bit of a floral aspect to it, but it's not overly floral, you know? I like, I like, and there is definitely still, this is how I know this fragrance does last a while. I'm picking up. They're saying they don't mention geranium, they don't mention any of that stuff in here, but there's something minty. There's definitely some of that in there. Man, I need to hit the gym. Did you see that? Did you see that? Man, it used to be I would flex like that. I would swear that I was on some Hulk Hogan, Tony Atlas type stuff. 24-inch pythons, brother. Now it's like they're 24 inches, all right. 24 inch ham hocks, brother. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Ricky Gare said, yeah, you talking about that's the question. The impression of moonlight in heaven. All right. He said he hadn't yet. Kid Panda said, no, some prices are out of control. FM happiness full is 10 plus notes. Then designer comes along with 4 notes and some are synthetic and run the price up because of name. Check notes on Fragrantica. Here's the thing: there's certain fragrances that they don't even post all the notes on Fragrantica. Like this one, hell, Blue de Chanel exclusive. There's more in that than the 4 notes that they listed. There's more than just freaking woody notes in there. There's a lot more going on in this fragrance than what they're saying. But a lot of these houses are starting to give 3-note breakdowns, or they're giving 50-note breakdowns, and most of the notes that they give on those breakdowns are indistinguishable in the fragrance. And I think they're just doing that to throw people off, to be honest. Mick says La Capitale by Xerjoff has labdanum and I can't get past it. La Capitale is a fragrance that I'm not a fan of either, because when we talk about the way that the labdanum kind of goes floral a little bit, for me, it kind of goes floral in that one. Some people like it. Some people think it does give like an air of powerful to it. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of it. So I feel you. I feel you on that one. Definitely feel you on that one. Um, the verdict on this one I can't give because this one is such a it's gonna be polarizing. You know you did a good job on a fragrance when it's polarizing. Or you did an awful job on putting out your price point when it's polarizing. We'll know in a few months which one it is, but this one, I'm right now leaning towards their. This is going to be one that I think people are going to eventually fall in love with. I think so. Let's see. Kids have a take Frederick Mall promise portrait of a lady. I see 10 plus and niece don't. You as a consumer feel like you get more for your buck versus a fragrance with like 6 listed notes. No, because it doesn't matter how many notes they have listed. If I'm only smelling 4 to 5 of them, it doesn't matter. It's like, you know, if I'm statistically that might be the case, but I can't go by this what it says, you know, statistically as far as the numbers wise. I have to go by. This is why putting your nose on fragrances is so important. Is, you know, I could have a fragrance that, you know, people may not like. It could be $400. But if I smell that fragrance and I value it at $400 because I love it that much just by that smell, then I don't mind paying that price point for it. It's like this one, Blue de Chanel 275 sounds like a very high price point for a Blue de Chanel. It really does. In a week, if I've sat on this fragrance and I've worn it a couple times and I am just like blown away by performance, the way it pops off skin, the swagger that it kind of gives me around that, then the 275 is gonna be like, yeah, it's worth it. Drop that. You know, it makes a difference to me. Drop it. I don't know. You know, because it might be worth that. Um, I say that with LV fragrances that they're overpriced. Of course, that's my opinion on those LV fragrances. I feel like you can get so much better as far as quality wise on the LV fragrances or those DNAs that are out there for that amount of money. You know, but I just told you, L'immensité, I feel like it's not overpriced. I think L'immensité is a work of art. I think that Pacific Chill is very, very good. I think it is. Most of the other ones, I'm kind of like, Afternoon Swim is an atrocity. Afternoon Swim is such a yeah, yeah. Let's see. Mix said I will smell exclusive though just to see. Thank you for the decant dive. Yeah, man. Look, it's such a. I feel like it's gonna be polarizing. It's gonna be. Joel said, I find it funny, even though I know some countries don't have long summer, when some YouTubers talks about fall fragrances while I'm over here cooking under the sun. Hey, look, I know Ross dropped the fall fragrance video. I'm working on a fall fragrance video right now, a way too early fall fragrance to watch list. Oh, let me go on a quick rant right quick. Some of you follow my guy, man. I love Jensen's. Jensen's Ash is cool. Cool people. He featured this fragrance on a video today. This, my people, is French Avenue's Tobacco Zenith. Now, if y'all have been keeping up with my channel, y'all know that I've talked about this fragrance a couple of times in the last, like, maybe month, because I've had it almost a month now. One of the fragrances that I kept hearing people compare this to was Tobacular, right? So I was like, you know what? Tobacular? Let me try it. So I picked it up. Bro, Ash on the video is like, man, this is a really great fragrance. It is, it's inspired by Tobacco. This is a really good tobacco fragrance. I will give them that. This one has kind of a interesting, like chocolatey kind of depth to it, though, right? Um, this ain't Tobacco. Like maybe in the dry down, going into that like hour and a half, 2 hours or so, maybe it gets close. But man, Tobacco is a fucking work of art when it comes to tobacco perfumery. The way that it plays the plum into the way that it's blended from the top of that fragrance, you get a fruity nuance that kind of goes into not really even a chocolatey, but almost like a rich kind of like depth of a fruitiness that kind of goes along into it. This one kind of comes across a little bit like a chocolate swisher. Um, Now that being said, it's really good. It is really good. I'm looking forward to doing a side by side. I've worn it once as a side by, but I do have Tobacco. I had to get another decant of Tobacco to make sure that I wasn't tripping. Right. Um, Shout out to my guys at Fragrance Line. But I had to get a whole nother decant of it just to make sure I wasn't tripping, bro. Like, because I think that in all honesty, I can't see it. I mean, there's a similarity, but we're gonna see. This can't be Tobacco without the plum, and this does not have the plum. So even though it's that in the dry down, the magic of Tobacco comes with that plum and the way that that thing presents. So we'll see. I'm gonna do a review on this. I like how this wears though. Nice tobacco fragrance. Nice. It really is. I like how it wears. We'll talk about it. Let's see. Keypad said, I took it more like a frag with Y. Different top notes. I smell certain notes, and my fiance smells different notes than a frag with two top notes. We both identify the same notes and more notes plus more development. Or you say six, not Y. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it really depends because you can. Here's the other thing too. If I know that certain fragrances have more than one particular style or more note, one more note, I can smell a fragrance. Oh, never mind. I can smell a fragrance and be like, had to turn the light off right quick. Um, I can smell a fragrance and be like, oh shoot, the heck? Turn that down. Here we go. That's better. All right, I can smell the fragrance and I can identify those notes better if I'm seeing that it has these notes in it. And I can identify them a little bit better. Sometimes it's not as easy if you're just smelling off the top. But it's good that y'all are doing that y'all are trying to identify those notes and stuff. Smells good says my fall doesn't really start until mid-October at best, November more common. Yeah. So I do have to kind of think about the majority of my US Canadian audience. Yeah, man. I the only reason I'm thinking about it right now is because I've been getting a lot of people mention it. So man, the new La Parka, they resurrected La Parka. And this is an interest. The new La Parka is kind of cool. I kind of like him. The outfit's a little slight bit different. Um, but yeah, man. Anyway, let's see. The wrestling, bro. Wrestling. Joel says Tobacco by Alhambra is not popular anymore as Dior Tobacco clone. That's the one that's always been the go-to is Tobacco. Well, Smoky now. And I think Jens mentioned that one today too. But Tobacco had that the fruitiness. So I don't bro, I don't know. I don't know. I still think that Tobacco's a better one if we're talking about that. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Ricky Garrett said, Joel, same here. I have fall fragrances that I only wore once last year, 2 to 3 months tops. So I'm here in Atlanta, man. And in Atlanta, I mean, you get kind of a limited fall. you know, it kind of goes from like November into like January, and then it gets cold. So, it just kind of depends, man. It depends on the year. Louisiana, when I was in Louisiana, we might get like, we never really got cold. We might get cold for like a week out of the year, like freezing. And then the rest of the year, it was like literally like 80 degrees and up, you know. Speaking of Louisiana, Stack Boy, that's my brother. That's my real brother right there. What's going on? Big Live is in the building. What's happening? Dave Webster says around August, September is when people start to get the itch for the fall fragrances. I get the itch for the fall fragrances all the time because I like those deeper vibe of fragrances. Now, I work in an office. I can wear those fall fragrances, those cooler weather fragrances all throughout the year. But me leaving the office and getting out into that heat and that cloying weather, nah, not me. Ricky Garrett says Maison Azar has one called Rose Honey that's a clone. Maison Azar has entered into the clone war with heat. Um, I've seen a lot of the Maison Azar stuff. I got some that I think I am bringing in. Um, I am a little bit, just from some stuff that I've heard. Man, the Nula Park is kind of skinny. He looks more like a skeleton. But anyway, that being said, man, I'm probably bringing some in. I've been hearing some mixed reviews on a lot of this stuff though. And now I'm kind of like debating whether or not to bring some of this stuff in. But I think I am going to bring some in. Joe said, basically, we get tired of putting on the same things and can't wait for the other seasons to arrive to switch it up. Basically, look at my wall, bro. And a lot of this stuff is fall weather stuff, right? By the way, I had somebody mention to me the other day, they were like, you don't have a lot of expensive fragrances up there. I don't. And here's why. I tend to like have the DNAs up on the wall that are in 100 mils. I don't usually spend $400 on a bottle. And part of the reason why is because I switch up my DNAs that I wear so much that it economically makes no sense for me to pay $400 for a bottle, because I'm gonna wear it like once out of the year, twice out of the year. Lenny, what's going on? And Lenny was actually the one who asked me the question about that, actually. What up, Sis Say family? What's going on, Lenny? But yeah, Lenny, I was just talking about the question that you had asked me. And that's what it is. It's like I don't really, you know, need anything that's gonna be like, these are for me. Triumph of Bacchus, for example, right? 10 mil decant's gonna cost me the same amount as 2 of these. So I'll get that. Matter of fact, show y'all one of the things that I do a lot. This is one of my bowls. I have another bowl that I work in the closet, but my bowl of niche and niche decants, right? This was Wave Child. It's done. It's just getting whole bottle, because Wave Child is when I decided I'm definitely getting a full bottle on. Of course, the second soul. Y'all know. Of the Immortals, Torino 21. Come on. There we go. So one of the other things I got to realize too about my camera, there we go, is that it focuses when it wants to focus. Got my Sphinx stuff. This is Baby Cat, I think. This is Baby Cat. Let me see. Oh, this is getting full bottles though. This is Old Ombre leather. I'm getting a full bottle of that. Because that one is definitely gonna be full bottle worthy. I got a couple of Blue Chanels in here. I think this is Blue Chanel. This is this is Trench. If you've never put your nose on YSL Trench, do that, because you're gonna be like, where has this been my entire fucking life? It's that good. Carlisle. I got a couple of other ones in there, and I got another bowl in the other room in there. So yeah, my whole thing is there's no reason, because those fragrances, I might wear it once a year. Why am I spend $400 for that bottle if I'm gonna wear it once a year? I spend the amount that I spend on these because I actually play with them and decant them out and do all that kind of stuff. And most of the time, I'm experimenting with them just to see, how they, for reviews and stuff like that. Because again, one of the things I love to do is really dissect a fragrance. And I was a freaking analyst in my former life. I'm telling you. Ricky Garrett said, because of my location, I'm thinking it may better serve me to purchase decants of fall winter fragrances. Yeah, because you won't go through them. You won't go through them. Then he said, I see some Mancera bottles which are a bit pricey. I feel bad now because I got myself Bleecker Street, but I wanted to get something nice for the year of the horse, my year. Hey, look, Bleecker Street's an interesting fragrance, man, because Bleecker Street is that blueberry vibe, and to me, it is a fragrance that I like, but I don't love. Like I don't love Bleecker Street, and so I feel you when you said you were thinking about getting something else. Bleecker Street is nice. It's just nice. Unwashed interlude smells exactly like you would expect Halloween would smell. I don't like that scent, but in Halloween I can appreciate it. Yeah, basically. Um, and that's the other danger you kind of go through, man, when you are getting some of those more expensive fragrances. One of the fragrances that I am bringing back in, one of the niche ones that people might consider expensive, is Lafayette Street. Lafayette Street, it was my old signature scent. I've gone through a couple of bottles of that, back in the day. I feel like Lafayette Street is what I need to get. I need to go ahead and get that. Need to get that. Now, I may not put that one on the wall. That one might go on the backdrop for the other videos and stuff. But Lafayette Street's a definite. I'm bringing in Cosmala, that number 4 neon. That's definitely coming in. I went through the decant on that. That's got to come in. Old Ombre Leathers coming in. The Triumph of Bacchus it's time. It's time. It's especially coming into the winter season. It's time. It's definitely time for that one. Let's see. By the way, Gator, La Falcon, Mizrael Valentine, George 21 is a beast. Yes, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Then he said having one or two niches is the way to go unless you have a lot of money. Yeah, because and it really does depend on what you consider, something that you like, something that's worth it to you. For example, to me, Lafayette Street's worth it. Like I love Wild Card. Don't get me wrong. I love Wild Card, man. Wild Card is such a about to turn my light off again because I got this cord sitting right here. Um, it's such a close representation of Lafayette Street. It's such a close representation. But it's not Lafayette Street. Excuse me. It's missing the apple. The quality of it is a little off as far as the apple. Everything else is fine, but it's just missing the apple. And for me, just that little nuance, just depending on what you do, it really does depend. In all honesty, I'm just checking this out, man. This is actually pretty cool. The LWO is coming down. Cruz del Toro. It really does depend on what does it for you, right? For Lafayette Street, for me, the apple. And so I would pay the premium over this to get that nuance that you miss from the original that you don't get in here. I'm a little bit biased because I started out with Lafayette Street, though. So if you're starting out with this one, you don't miss it. You don't miss that apple. You don't miss any of that. That's just like, oh, it's got an apple. No, it's a little better in this one, but hey, I could deal with this. But for somebody who wore that stuff every day, and I just can't. Old Fashioned from Killian was another one that was like that, to where when I smelled Royal Blend Vintage, I was like, bruh, this is some bullshit. Like and I've grown to like Royal Blend Vintage a lot. Check out the video on my channel on that one. I've grown to like it a lot, but man, it's not Old Fashioned. It's gonna be interesting when I actually record the video for Parodies, because I'm gonna redo that video. This fragrance is, after kind of sitting back and watching it, the way that it presents itself, this is probably the better Royal Blend fragrance in their line. This is probably the best of those fragrances in their line as far as like the closeness to the original. And that's saying a lot, because I feel like the original Royal Blend was really close to, it was close, 85% maybe, to the original. Dave Webster says, what's your top 3 cheapies been so far this year? Okay, so defining cheapies. Let's see. My favorite so far this year, and when I say this year, I'm going to say my favorite pickup purchases this year as far as cheapies go. So Celestia Blue, still like $22. This fragrance, again, Office for Men inspired. Such a fresh, and Ricky Garrett's wearing this today. Such a fresh fragrance, man. That bergamot citric vibe at the top, but then it just goes straight up ambroxan the rest of the way. Super fresh, easy wear. This is one that gets you through the day at the office or wherever, man. And I know Ricky said he had to macerate his a little bit. I didn't have to macerate mine. It was like that out the box. Now, I will say that the first time I tested it, it took maybe about 2 weeks before I actually got a chance to do it again. And what the frick is going on here? Who the hell is this? Is this like a chick, or is this like a dude? I see the. You know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. Okay, so That was one Celestial Blue. Um, Now as far as people gonna give me grief for this, and I don't understand why. It's the truth that it's really good, and that's Rare Reef. Rare Reef's really good. It's one of my favorite pickups this year. You know, I think it was overhyped. It was definitely overhyped when it first dropped, but in actuality, it's a really good fragrance. It is awesome. It's not Pacific Chill per se. It opens like Pacific Chill, but in all actuality, it does more than Pacific Chill. It's a better fragrance overall than a lot of the other inspired buys that are out there. As a fragrance by itself, awesome, and it's still running like $35 online right now. Honorable mention: this guy right here. This is Boucheron Singular. This is a pickup that I got earlier this year. Man, this is a manly man's blue. This is blue for men. Like when you wear this, this is literally like this is alpha male right here. This is a man's blue. It's no frills, no nothing like that. It's just literally your citrus, your lavender, and it just pumps. I love it, man. This is also a really really good pickup. Um, and then you can't have one of these lists, man. And I picked this up this year. I think it actually came out last year, but or the year before. But this guy right here, this is Odyssey Aqua. There we go. Odyssey Aqua, man. This is Invictus Platinum, not quite as deep, but a little bit fresher. And it's great. It lasts on skin for a good 7 or 8 hours. It definitely has this really beautiful. It's got this. It definitely has that Invictus DNA in there, but it really kind of floats in the air really really well, man. Great grab and go fragrance, man. If you've not put your hands on, and when I say cheapy, I'm thinking in that $30 to $40 range. Um, Try this. Awesome little fragrance, man. Let's see. Uh-oh. Let's see. I need to smell Lafayette Street. I hear Zakat, a new line has clones of it. Look up Zakat 26 Z6. Yeah, I have, and it's some bullshit. Like I like real talk. My guy Greg has it. And uh that's now I'm gonna be biased because of the fact that I had Lafayette Street. If you smell that fragrance though, you there is a definite quality difference on there. So my thought is you may not even want to. Yeah, uh, no, no. I'm not even gonna. The new Maison Alhambra one, that Lux line, it's a little bit better quality than that. So it's getting there. None of them are the same as Wild Card though. I mean, Wild Card's the best one out there right now. It is. It's just hands down the best one. Um, but yeah. Let's see. David Avalon, Tarathi Electric, La Falcon, Risola, Orthograph, La Falcon, Marsala, Valentine. So Tarathi Electric is one that I told you because of the fact that I am not the biggest fan of that DNA. I am not even like going gaga over. I am not getting it. No, sirree, Bob. I might. I don't know. I don't know. Now I said Rare Reef. I didn't even mention Pacific Aura. It's on that $30 price point as well, though $35. Um, Not a bad pickup. Not a bad pickup at all. Um, you know which one probably should have been on that list though, and I didn't bring it up. Soprano Ice is in that $50 range now. It was when I got it. It was like 39, but now it dropped in 50. This is gonna be one that people are gonna start talking about a little bit, man. People are gonna start kind of mentioning this. But guy, my guy almost. Jordan, man. Okay. So guys, Jordan, man, almost, man. Check out his fragrance channel. Um, and this is why I'm actually watching this back because I heard he might be there from a little birdie. Well, a big old 7-foot birdie told me that he might be at Triple Mania. But yeah. So if you've never checked out the Giant Connoisseur, his fragrance channel, check it out. He'll put you on some game, man. He put me on Tulum Junglescape, Sol y Limon, and Tulum Junglescape, man. I heard EQ talking about it the other night. Jordan put me on that one like some months back, man, and that's another one that's gonna be a full bottle. It's gonna be a full bottle. The Solid Limon, I actually got to put my nose on that one. That was gonna be probably a full bottle too. Like Jordan got some bangers, bro. He got some bangers. And if you're into wrestling, the Giant Omos, that guy, Jordan, man, check out his channel, man, the Giant Connoisseur. Check it out, bro. You got to. You got to. He'll put you on some bangers, bro. Let's see. How does Grandeur New York compare to Wild Card? Wild Card's better. Grandeur New York, I ended up returning it because it really didn't even measure up to it. Like so Grandeur, the Avenue London, when comparing it to Game of Spades Win, it can go what and what on that as far as like which one is the better one. And sometimes I lean towards the Grandeur on that one. And like I said, the fact that I kept the Grandeur says everything you need to know. The fact that I kept that one instead of the Win says everything you need to know. Now that being said, the New York one, just get Wild Card. Just get Wild Card, bro. Like real talk, just get Wild Card. Let's see. Then he said, I want to get Mancera Wynwood, but I'm getting a sample. It smells exactly like Givenchy only, gentlemen. Then no thanks. And it said, I'm also, let's see. I'm also getting Ferragamo Intense Leather. That's two good ones, man. Wynwood's good. To me, there are better Mancera fragrances out there. I was a bigger fan of the Kumquat Wood. I'm a huge fan of Kumquat Wood, actually. And my guy Ricky Garrett, he's been sniffing on that one too, man. Kumquat Wood's really nice. Kumquat Wood is monstrous, man. I love it. That whole line is pretty good though. Because they're all kind of, it's like it's Saharan Wind, it's Windwood, and then there's Kumquat Wood, and there's another one in that came out around that same time. Let's see. Ricky Garrett said Royal Blend Vintage, La DUI, forget. Man, so the problem with Royal Blend Vintage is that it didn't have the boozy nature that Old Fashioned did. Like Old Fashioned, man, you could smell the sugar granules. You could get the texture of those sugar granules in there. It's a completely different monster, right? So if you've worn that and then you put on vintage, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like I was really not feeling it. Really not. But hey, you know. Oh man, Jordan about to throw the little midget out of the ring. That's crazy. Like that little dude, bro, is like literally like up to my knee. Like anyway, let's see. Then he said, I'm not getting Bleecker Street again. I'm just sticking to Ralph Lauren Purple Label. Yeah. I hear I love New York. You can fill their bottles for free in events, but not sure if you need to go in person. I think you have to go in person. I think that's the caveat to it. You have to go in person. Because I can see the reflection of your TV with your mama picture, by the way. Yeah, y'all can see, bruh. Y'all can see some of the stuff that's going on. Like on my mom's picture, man. Let's see. If I'm taking notes on Franganica, I feel like I'm the student and you're the professor. You know, people keep calling me the professor. I'm going to bring out that I have a character that I use, that Professor Alligator Aloysius Beta, that I'm probably going to start using, man. David Webster says some cheapies I want to try are Nitro Red Intensely. It's good. Avnon Collector's Edition. It's good. It's like, I don't even consider that a cheapie now. It's like $40-something. Tarathi Electric, yeah, I can see. Because that's a Rare Reef is still in that area. Soprano Ice, it was in that area. I don't know what it is now, though, as far as like price point. But Soprano Ice is really good, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Soprano Ice. Now, here's the thing. Sent a couple of decants to my girl Kara, and she was digging this one. She was digging Vivid. She was like, she might pick up Soprano Ice for the gym, but she was really digging this guy. So if y'all haven't put y'all nose on Vivid, man, Fury's good too. My guy Walt was talking about Fury, and I'm gonna get Fury in a little bit. It's gonna be on my fall haul. Man, try Vivid. Vivid's good. So you saying Zakat sucks? Damn, I got myself Z25 to compare it with Bleecker Street. Oh man. No, I have not smelled all of their stuff. So and I've seen the Z26. I've seen that bottle on our new store, as a matter of fact. Our new store is where I saw it. You got Almost Against La Parka? You know, La Parka, this is the new La Parka, though. So I don't know. He may try to find a way to finagle Jordan out of getting Jordan out of the ring. Hey, don't go out like that. Uh-oh. The Parker's gonna try to get him out of the ring. Wait a minute. Dang, there we go. There we go. Claps up for the giant connoisseur. Man, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome, man. They gave him the win in the Battle Royal for Triple Mania, man. That is awesome. When y'all jump on Jordan's channel, because he puts out videos at least a couple times a week, man. Just tell him, man, Novice is watching your match, man, on Triple Mania, and just left the chat. Let me see. Lenny. Let me see where you at. Okay. They said, I don't drink, but let me join you with some lemonade. Be right back. Let me fill up and drink. Look, that's fine, man. Go ahead, get you some lemonade, man. Get you some lemonade. Ricky Garrett says, I would have to get a decant, a wild card from you. I have Grandeur in New York and didn't care for it. I assume I wouldn't care for Lafayette Street, Grandeur Avenue to my girl. So here's the thing. If I will say this to people, Lafayette Street, there's folks that just can't stand it. There's people that can't stand Lafayette Street. To me, I fell in love with it when I first smelled it. But there's people who cannot stand Lafayette Street. Um, I've heard people say it smells like cake, toilet cake urinal. Um, I've heard people say it smells like expensive bathrooms. I've heard people say, but then I've heard other people that are like, man, this is like the best fragrance ever. This is magic in a bottle. This is, to me, to me, it was like magic in a bottle. Huge compliment magnet on me. Um, I loved it. Really did, man. Driz, what's going on, man? What's up, Gator? What's up, man? You gotta hit me up, man, because I was waiting on your email this weekend, man. I was looking for you. You said, let's see, Gator starting instead of movie, TV, and music reactions, wrestling reaction channel. So y'all talking, but me and Meech, man, CR Saint and BT, we talked about that, man, the other night, because Meech, man, he's done some like real wrestling journalism, and I've always been a wrestling fan. I've done some wrestling podcast stuff before. Meech has done it before. BT's huge fan. Even talked about getting Walt in on it, man, and just doing like a wrestling review. Just do some wrestling stuff, man. I'm always down for wrestling stuff. If you look at my channel description, I talk about wrestling on there. The novice knows a lot of stuff. That's why I kept it at the novice knows. Not the novice knows fragrances. It's or whatever. Or novice knows reviews. It's not that. Novice knows wrestling. The novice knows fragrances. The novice knows music. The novice knows. You know what I'm saying? So it goes through a whole line of different things, man. Wrestling is dear to my heart. It really is. So it's one of those things where I'm looking forward to. I look forward to talking about it. I've had a couple of nights where I've had to jump off lives here because I had to get on a wrestling show. So yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. Lily said, I can't stand Cedric Boise. It smells awful. How dare you put that slander in the chat, sir? How dare you? Cedric Boise is great, man. I am a fan of Cedric Boise, but I will say this. There is a clone of this called Cedric Essence. Cedric Boise gives me a headache. I love Cedric Boise, but it gives me a headache. I have to be mindful of how many times I spray Cedric Boise. I love it. But it gives me a headache. Here's the thing. Paris Corner did this. Now, don't let this full bottle fool you of this fragrance, because this is my third or fourth full bottle. This one hasn't even been sprayed yet. I actually have like a quarter of a bottle that's sitting in the other room right now of this that I use. This is literally just up here for just display, right? This is Cedric Boise without the leather. You replace the leather with vanilla. Comes across more smooth, more mass appealing, a little easier on the nose. This is a compliment magnet as well. I think this is one of the first videos I put up on my channel as well. I think I put it up under the Clone Compliment King because it definitely does garner compliments like a mug. It really does. Beautiful fragrance. Another one that is on my wife's "You don't wear this unless you're around me" list. It's on the list. Let's see. Just I'll send it a busy day. Yeah, man, take your time, bro. Take your time. Dave Webb said cheapy depends on the person. I've heard a reviewer refer to a $70 fragrance as a cheapy. To me, I would say under 50 is cheapy. Yeah, it really does, man. It really does depend on your perspective on the whole thing, man. I heard a certain reviewer that a lot of people take account into that said that $150 fragrance was a cheapy fragrance. So really just kind of depends, man. Lenny said, I'm going to go see where I left off in WWF Raw in 1999 June. Thanks for talking about wrestling so I can come back and watch it. I should have already been almost done watching 1999, but I stopped. Man, yo, those were the days, man. Back then, I feel like it's getting to a point where it's come. Oh, is he dressed like Doctor Doom? So here's the thing with the Triple Mania stuff, man. They have characters still in La Lucha Libre things, man. They still have characters, man. You know, Psycho Clown, Mystery Iguana that were on Raw the other day. That just gives another example of the way that they do characters, man. I'm about to jump off of here because it's about that time, man. It's 1:41. Yeah, he's like Doctor Doom. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Huh. But yeah, I'm about to jump off of here, man, because I got to get me a little snack in, take my medication. When I say medication, I'm talking about my pain pill because I'm still working on the knee, man. Working on his knee. Oh man, let me see. Driz said, got a sample of BDC exclusive. It's cool. I like it. Don't love it. So it's still pumping. And it's the labdanum. I feel like I'm getting more of the woody vibe now. It's not as much of the mintiness as it was at first. So I think that after that hour or so, that initial real impartition of the Blue de Chanel DNA that I got is kind of gone. You're still getting a little bit of that sandalwood vibe going though, that you're getting the further dry down on Blue de Chanel Parfum especially. But that labdanum is really making itself known right now. Yeah. And it's starting to get into the floral vibe of it. And maybe it's just because of the amber, the way the amber's popping in. But yeah, man, look, Driz, I was telling them I got this sample, I got the 5 mils so I can kind of see what it's about in the wearing experience over the next like week or so. I want to wear it, like put a full wearing or two on this thing and see what it does, man. Um, because right now I could say that Blue de Chanel is out of their rabbit ass mind for charging $275 for this, but I'll know more once I get a good wear on it, a few wears on it, and see how it kind of pops off skin and how it makes you feel. Because fragrance a lot of times is about feeling. How does it make me feel like that 275 is worth it, for the feeling that I get wearing this fragrance, for how it presents, how it kind of vibes in the air. um you say it lasts long. It's been on since about 6 p.m. Yeah, yeah, man. That's what I'm hearing. Look, and 6 p.m. your time, shit, it's about 8 hours down there. So man, look, that's what you like to hear. If you're gonna spend that kind of money on a fragrance, the one thing you don't really, I mean, with a Blue de Chanel, especially, you kind of expect it. And we were talking to Kid Pan about that earlier. You kind of expect it to be a little bit lasting longer because that's where we're at. Some fragrances aren't made like that, but this one you kind of want it to be as a designer. So we shall see, man. But let me get out of here, guys. Y'all stay safe, man. Y'all be good. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. Y'all already know the drill. Y'all know what it be like. Whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, make sure you make today the best day ever on purpose. Peace out.